Hey everybody, it's your girl Diamond. I'm back with an all new episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 3, Episode 2. 47 problems, but this land ain't one. Okay, so we're getting flashbacks to how the episode starts off with, Kimmy and Tisha having a conversation at her graduation party. But we're in a new day. Kimmy visits Maurice because Kimmy wants to realize that, am I the only one feeling like what Tisha is asking is ridiculous, or should I just let it go? So she wants to see what he says. So then she recites that Tisha feels like Kimmy doesn't check up on her. She doesn't call her. She doesn't want to see her. And she's not acting like the sister that she wants her to be. Maurice was like, does she not know you? Does she not know the fact that you can't just expect something from somebody if they don't give it to you right away? And if she expects you to act like no other than Kimmy, then she's going to be let down. In the midst of this scene, we flash back, we segue to Tisha reciting the same thing to Marceau about how she has expectations of how Kimmy should, act around her. Because Kimmy gave her a perfect example. When it came down to the whole thing with Kiwi, about how Kiwi tried to paint Kimmy out to be this homewrecker, this hoe, this prostitute, that she came in and broke up their marriage. Nobody had her back. And the one person she thought would be Letitia. But then, like I said in my last video, we get a flashback of the behind the scenes that Tisha co-signed with Kiwi about how Maurice and Kimmy got together. See, that's girl code. I'm like, was Kimmy friends with Kiwi at that point? I don't think so. But Marceau was like, you can't think about that. You can't, like, you can't let it get you like that. If you guys are not going to be friends, or at least be sister-in-laws, you guys gotta at least be cordial. You can't think of it too hardy like that. But then Kimmy was like, I'm not going to change for nobody. I'm going to be Kimmy. And if you don't like the fact that I'm going to check you when you're wrong in the midst of everybody else thinking you have this perfect life, then that's not going to work for me. But Tisha was happy that her party was a success. She was glad that her mom didn't come because that would have been some mess. You are right. And then, of course, Tisha realizes that if her and Kimmy cannot get to a better place, then she's not going to try no more. Okay, Tisha. And then, it came down to the whole thing about Marceau getting checked about the other side of the track comment, but more so about the rumor that her brother told him, because he's like, what rumor? That you have an outside baby. Tisha was like, they need to stop getting on social media and listening to stuff. I'm like, you should know, Tisha. Your mom was the one that was on social media talking about the difference between your kids and Melly's kids. So you should know. So then, of course, the whole baby rumor. Tisha says she would leave him and take him for everything that he has. Marceau says that if Tisha had an outside baby, he would forgive her. I'm like, you are a damn liar, Marceau. You are such a liar. You would have never forgiven Tisha if she had an outside baby. But that's the thing. As men, y'all want to go out and do all types of wrongness, doings, and y'all expect for the women to just take it and forgive. But if we do it, oh no, she's done. It's a wrap. I don't want to be with her no more. I'm done. I'm like, that is so not cool. That's not cool at all and not fair. So then we get to Melody in her beautiful home. I love the hair that she has. I think she's good. She's really pretty with short hair. She's really pretty. So then, of course, Martel's coming up to pick up the kids. It's his week to do it. But then, of course, she wants to talk to him about the post that he's done on social media. Get that addressed. So they come in. She lets him step in for a second, takes him right back outside. Let's talk about the posts. Let's talk about the social media posts and everything that you've been doing. Let's talk about boundaries. Let's talk about how whenever it comes down to you want to get the kids, you want to say, well, y'all can do what y'all doing. I don't want to have them right now. But then it flips into, okay, so you want to keep him. You don't want to keep the kids, but at the midst of that, you at events and stuff. He flips it to, okay, you can say you're sick, but when I have the kids, you're sick, but you in Georgia. So they both are not being truthful or understanding of if they need trouble with the kids or not, because they do other things that is not really meshing with what they said they're doing. Just pointing the finger at each other. But Martel started. Then about how he was on this tour trying to smear Melody's name. He said, no, I wasn't. Flashback to Dr. Heavenly's interview and the strawberry letter with Steve Harvey. Then, of course, in the midst of Melody's interview with the Funky Dineva, because I watched both. I watched her interview with Dr. Heavenly and Funky Dineva. And in the midst of Funky Dineva's interview, he's calling because he didn't like what she was saying. But I felt like, Martel, The one thing that you kept on saying in your interviews was the fact that Melody was not satisfying you in the way that you wanted it to. But she has said in her interview, you got what you asked for quite often. You know, you got the daily satisfaction of a man wants from his wife. Sex and everything. And what you try to add to spice it up. But the fact is, she wasn't doing it as often as you wanted to. You made it seem as if she was neglecting you when she wasn't. When she has a mortgage, a whole set of kids, and a business, you're going to have to be patient, understanding, or help out so y'all can have those moments. So, what was me and Martell? Good night. Good night. So then, we get to the whole trying to be better co-parent. If they can't do it by themselves and don't want to get the course involved, we need to go to counseling to be better co-parenting. Martell agrees. Then, of course, he is right back outside trying to get the kids. Mel's mother comes in and opens the door. She wants to talk to him because he's been doing some very foul things. Martell doesn't want to hear it. But she's like, I don't care if you want to hear it. You won't hear me. But we're not going to do this now because you're going to get the kids. And it needs to be a peaceful exit and entrance. So, but then, you know, he just tries to like point the finger again about how, see, when people come at me, I have to respect to defend myself because people come disrespecting me. She's like, just save it. I ain't got time for it. Just save it. Here he goes and said, come on, kids, your granny just put her finger in my face and I don't like that. Such a baby. Like, why would you say that? I would have hit his ass so fast. Boy, get out of my face. Go change a diaper. Like, you are too fucking much for me. Just disrespectful. She said, I ain't got time for your BS. You mad because I'm calling your BS out? Okay. I can't stand Martell. I really can't. So we get back to Kimmy and Maurice. We see Maurice pulling up to the house. Monster is playing basketball. He is now graduating from middle school and he's approaching high school. Maurice wants him to grow up. Pretty much, you know, maybe get like a summer job so he can start earning some money. You know, learning things about how to take care of himself. Learn how to pull his weight around. So now, you know, he wants to mow the lawn, you know, but he wants one of those lawns where he just sits in and let the machine do it himself. He wants to get paid but not do the work. That's everybody. Adults and kids included. I want to work, but I want to get paid but not do the work. Man. So then we find out he picked a good academy for his high school. He calls Kiwi. In the midst of him calling Kiwi to let her know what high school he picked, you can see Kimmy right there sitting, and he's not saying nothing, not saying, oh, well, me and Kimmy just talking to Monster about what high school he picked, and he picked this. Kimmy literally has to interject and says, hey, make sure everybody else is here. So we're talking about having a graduation party for all the cousins and everything. Just want to let you know, keep you up on game and everything. Maurice always leaves Kimmy out when it comes to the conversations about Monster with Kiwi. And she feels like, as his bonus mom, I should be included in some of these conversations. Why you keep excluding me out? I don't know why. Does Maurice have a hard time communicating as far as like realizing that Kimmy is your wife? And as far as like for Kiwi, you don't have to like, I don't know, coddle her feelings for her not seeing Kimmy, even though that's your wife now and Kiwi is remarried. So I don't know what's going on with him not trying to like include her in that conversation. If she's the one that's taking care of your son day to day. If that's the case, she ain't gotta do shit. You the one that wakes him up, getting him to school. You the one that keeps him like, you know, occupied. You the one that helps him with his business. Kimmy's gonna do Kimmy and that's it, if that's the case. So Kiwi wants to talk. Wants to get to a much better ground because of what happened last time, because of the first reunion where Kiwi was in her feelings that Kimmy and Maurice was not dating after they divorced. They were dating during the duration of the marriage, but Kimmy said that's not true. But then of course you constantly disrespect me. You don't like me and I don't know why. At the same point in time, since you did not want Maurice no more, why are you mad at Kimmy for wanting him? And you married again. So I'm confused as to why you still upset. But we're going to see where that conversation going to go. So then we're back to Mel. She's in her office. And we introduce to the new cast member, which is Tiffany. Turns out Mel knew Tiffany. She knows Tiffany from 7 years ago. Well, in 7 years she's known her. They used to be on this Council of Women's of Business. And she's remarried. And then Tiffany's asking her how is she's doing since the divorce. Melanie says she has enjoyed falling in love with herself again. And of course it's like, do days get better? I feel like some days aren't. She said yes. Days will get better, and Melly feels a relief that she's dealing with somebody, that she's getting this information from somebody who's been through it, who's going to let her know, girl, there will be sunny days, there'll be bad days, but you will get better. And that's really good. So, of course, to heal someone in her shoes, to know that what you're going through is normal, but you will find the light at the end of the tunnel. So, of course, she's all about rebranding her brand, you know. Melody Holden Corporation, entrepreneur, singer, author, all that type of stuff. So she wants to hire some interns from HBCU. You know, that's, you know, wanted to like do, you know, developing the business, what she's doing, understanding where she's going with it, and want to make it a success. So she's going to do that. And then she invites her to Destiny's dinner party. Now next week we're going to find out. That's where the mess going to start. I can't wait. So then we get to Chris and Martell. Martell's going to Chris's home. He's flashed back into the fight that he had with Melody. That was a fight to remember. Though Chris is studying for his builder's license, Martell needs to do that as well because he failed his 7 years ago. So the 47 acres is now closed. The developer is going to use it to build the family homes. And of course, this is when Chris tells him about the conversation he had with Mel. The developer asks for Mel because she still has her builder's license and she has a deed on where the 47 acres was originated from. Marcel had an issue with that from the beginning. He threw a tantrum. And then, of course, he also tells him that Mel defended him. How the 47 acres was a passion project for him. He wants to do so well in it. And the fact that it's now not in his possession, he's still feeling a little emotional about it. So she did tell him to talk to Martell, so I won't be stepping on his shoes, thinking I'm trying to, like, you know, take over, but I'm not. He throws a complete tantrum about, why would you go to my ex-wife and not to me? I sold the land. I'm the one that did this. Martell was the one that found the people and did this and blah, 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 blah. But Chris said it more than once. The developer asked for Mel, who has her builder's license. But then you could have told me, I don't have my license, but I know people who have it. Okay, that's the case. But I honestly think that Chris does not want to mix business with pleasure again. Because with the last season of the 47 acres, all of his developers that was interested in it backed out. Because of what was spewed on social media and everywhere else about Martell and his cheating and the outside baby. So folks don't want to be in business with him. So Chris is really trying to keep that part separate. Yes, you might know people, but at the same point in time, I don't think people want to be dealing with you. Dealing with you. It's business, not personal. He is still throwing the fit. My friend. You gonna be my friend. Why'd you come to me? Knowing I know more than what she do. You couldn't just throwing a tantrum. He really does not want Mel to succeed. I don't know why. At the same point in time, even if you're not on it, if Mel's on it, she can get a bag and put more money and food into your kids' mouths. Isn't that what you would want? Your kids to be happy? Your kids to still live the life that you have been having this entire time? He is so upset that Mel is thriving and he is falling. I can't tell. I can't with Martell. I really can't. He really got on my nerves that scene. It's a baby. We get to the counseling session. Martell wants it to be fair. He don't want nobody to be biased. Talks about how Dr. Francis was biased. I'm like, Dr. Francis was not biased. Dr. Francis spelled out everything that you were supposed to hear. You just didn't like it. You want a yes man. We're not. No, Martell. He's a man. He should have been understanding. Understanding what? What should be understanding? That you had a wife at home with kids who loves you, but you went and fucked the side bitch because she was giving you head whenever you wanted to. He's supposed to be understanding of that? I don't think so. Then of course Miss Price, that's her name, very nice lady, and how Chris and Neil was also supposed to help them out because he wants someone that was relatable. Chris and Neil was relatable. Remember, Chris cheated on his wife, but they got better. But you wanted people to be on your side, to understand how you were feeling. But nobody wants to understand your feelings because your feelings are stupid. You was thinking with your penis and not your head. That's why. Lord have mercy. So then, of course, the counselor opens up with, okay, so how are the children? Martell said the kids are fine, no counseling. Mel was like, Martell suffered from the same mentality that a lot of people in the black community have. And what's that? Don't need no therapist. We'll fix it when we can. But then she breaks it down. Two of her daughters, one have become more reserved, one wrote a song about heartbreak, and we got the son who has formed resentment towards his father. And we know why. Last season, the little boy was quiet as a mouse because he was mad at how Martell has treated his mom. He even said it. There were times where I would hear Mel in the bathroom crying because Martell did something to her. He yelled at her for doing something that he didn't like. He saw his mom hurting and he didn't like it. Martell agrees, but the way that he looked at it, it was like he's trying to protect himself from not realizing that your cheating, you having an outside kid, broke everybody. Not just Mel, it broke your kids too. And the kids are so young. You want them to have as much understanding and developing as it is to understand why you did what you did. Actually, to not understand why you did what you did, but to realize that and for them to grow better so they won't form resentment towards you. They don't want to hate you, but of course they're going to go back with their mom because they was in the house living with it. So then we get to how the scheduling of the week. Sometimes Martell don't be ready when his weeks come, and Mel keeps him for more than what she's supposed to. Because he's talking about he's struggling financially, so he can't be there for them as much as he can. Now, when I heard that, I had to hear it twice. I was like, are you talking about being there playing with them? You know, laughing, going outside playing with them? Or are you talking about taking them places that's supposed to make it better? Taking them to Disneyland when they want to, buying all types of clothes, buying all types of treats. Buying stuff does not always mean your kids are happy. Spending time with them makes them happy. Yes, it's nice to take them somewhere, but at the same point in time, you don't have to do that every time to make your kids happy. So what are you doing when your kids are in your possession? Do you drop them off at your mom, or you just have them sit there while you wallowing in self-pity? In the midst of that conversation, he feels stuck. Mel starts to cry because if you have loved this man, if you have been in this relationship with someone for over 14 years, it's going to be hard for not to feel sorry. It's going to be hard for not to feel bad for them. But God has his way of doing things, and God has to be the one to, keep it going. So he feels alone, that nobody has his back. I feel like that's on you. You made your bed, now you lying in it. Mel tries to comfort him. He rejects it. She was like, hey man, don't touch me. I'm like, did I miss something? He wasn't used to her giving him emotional support. So we go back to Mel has had a few breakdowns in her life. And she's crying in the closet with a blanket. But she realized that as much as she did it, she had to pick herself up and keep going because she has responsibilities. And Martell said, I get where you're coming from, but right now you cannot stop because you now have 5 children to take care of. So no more pity parties. Martell feels like she was being like messy or being shady about bringing up the outside kid. She said, no, it's the realization. You got 5. You got 5 kids. So this whole pity party you having with yourself, you're gonna have to eat. You're gonna have to swallow it up and keep going. Because Mel's not stopping. She's going. Because we're talking about the 4 that we have. Okay, I understand that, but in the midst of that, you have 5 kids to take care of. Wake up. That's the reality of it. Like, I don't know if you feel like you're the only one that's supposed to mention the 5th kid, but everybody else knows about the 5th kid. So you can't keep the control of keeping that silent. You really can't. The kids are aware of the divorce. Martell thinks that Mel told them, but the kids lived it. They heard the fussing, they heard the yelling, they seen the fighting, they seen everything. And then of course he's like, well, I told you to keep quiet, but I told you to stop doing it. So back and back, what's up? And then I'm like, if you want me to keep quiet, then you should kept your penis in the house, so we wouldn't be here. If you wasn't looking for the other whole fuck, we wouldn't be in this situation. So Martell missed me. Stop trying to point the finger. It's not always Mel's fault that he got out here. It was you. And the woman that you was fucking with had a big ass mouth and was telling everybody. And then of course we get to the whole point that Martell has begged for Mel to take him back, and I believe it. I believe he has, but he wants to say it's for the kids. No, that's what you tell yourself? You want to say for the kids? Okay. No, it's okay if you want your wife and your family back. It's okay to say it. He said he would have never said it if they didn't have any kids. She said, oh, thank you. Thank you for admitting that you would have never said it if we didn't have any kids. Thank you. So you have said, take me back, it's for the kids. You have said it. But if they didn't have kids, you would have been like, okay, I'm done. Cool, thank you. So the conversation about the new sibling, Mel obviously do believe it's time to have it, but they know. But it's all about if he's ready to have the conversation. He's not. So Miss Price shares her story about how when her and her ex broke up, her ex had an outside child. Her son was 7. So in order for it to be understood as a team to tell her son about a new sibling, she had to let her ex lead the conversation while she sat back and was quiet. In the midst of her breaking down inside, her outside read, I'm approving that our dynamic is changing. I am letting the fact that we're now about to enter a new world that my son is about to experience, and this is what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to work together for this to be a better dynamic for our family, even though it's changed in an uncertain way. We have to be a team. In the midst of you guys are living in separate housing and parenting differently in separate housing, you have to be a team for the kids. You have to co-parent better. And they want to. They want to. So then, of course, at the end of that, we get to the conversation about Martell and Chris, about how Chris told him about the 47 acres and how she wants to be a part of it. She said, yeah. You didn't think that was wrong? Even though in the midst of him saying that, he's thanking her about defending him. She's thanking her. He's thanking her. And he felt like, well, why didn't Chris keep up with that same information or keep up with that same, notion about if you telling him to tell me, why couldn't he do it? But Melly didn't find nothing wrong with what he did because it was business. I even told him, send me the specs and send me the money so I can see what I can do. He's like, bro, you're not building a house in your day of your life. Bye. I'm like, boy, good night and goodbye. Good night and goodbye, Martell. You've never laid a brick, a foundation, a frame, or nothing. Like, I don't know why he has such a problem with the way that Chris did it. Granted, Chris probably should have came before that, before he went to Mel, but the client asked for Mel because she has the builder's license. She has the way of making this work. She has the permission to do it. She has the education to do it. He don't. So why would they go to him? You don't know what to do. You don't have the information. You don't have the permit to do this. So why are you mad that it went to Melody and not you? I don't know. Like, that whole entire end of the scene, everything was such a good, happy note. But he want to get into his feelings, get in his bag. Your slip is showing, Martell, that he's mad that they wanted to ask Mel about the house, about the 47 acres. Why? If it's money put it in her pocket, it's money in your kids' pockets. Why are you upset? And you started it. No, he's supposed to be with me. That's my friend. Da-da-da. Like, boy, good night and goodbye, Martell. Like, he is such a baby. And the shit that he do is so bitch made. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. And say, you ain't gotta be difficult with me. If you ain't gotta be difficult. All you need to do is just say no next time. And she's like, why would I do that? Why would I difficult? How? If it's something that everything that can be doing, then why? If it's something that it can be put money in our kids' brow, do it. Marcel gets on my nerves. But that's all I got, y'all. I can't wait for the next episode. I'm going to see y'all later. Bye.